Hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Jones and I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you're now watching Black Girl, Therapist in the Wild, and this little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. And today we are reviewing Wicked Part 2, Wicked for Good, and we are sipping on Bailey's and Kahlua. Yes. So, how y'all doing? Y'all, did you see this big, magnificent, gorgeous motherfucker knock this white hillbilly meth addict out? It was magical, and I just had to start this off with just glorious, and Andrew Tate got knocked out by a fucking what is it? The nigga don't box, so he was just, doing shit. He's a YouTuber too. Whoever the fuck he was, he knocked Andrew Tate's ass out. And, the world just healed a little bit, a tiny smidge, and it's magical. And that man, Anthony Joshua, whatever the fuck that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man. I love me just a man that looks like a piece of art, a painting. Like, he's so big and humongous and glorious, and it's been a long time since there are no beautiful, gorgeous, sculpted niggas in my vicinity. So just to be able to see that and be like, you know what? God out here creating art and shit. It's just beautiful. And then he knocked that white man out. Just beautiful. So yeah, I had to start off with that. But yeah, how y'all doing? So I watched Wicked Part 2. Wicked for Good. I wasn't as excited to watch it this time as I was the first movie. Like I just don't like Cynthia Erivo. Like, and I already said in the first movie, I even put up screen grabs of what she said about Black Americans and what she liked on Twitter or whatever about Black Americans that was discriminatory and shit like that. And I just don't like that. Now I feel like, now she gets to see what Black Americans have to experience as she promoted for this movie, and they sit up here calling her manly and saying she's a strong and a protector. She's the same height as Ariana Grande. Like, they're literally little people. They're like 5 foot nothings, but because she's Black, she's manly and strong and all this other shit. And I was just like, well, when you put evil into the world, sometimes you get back that evil and you get to experience the evil that you was making fun of. And so that's none of my business. But, like I said in my previous videos, she has money. And so I'm sure she'll be okay in the name of Jesus. God bless. I don't wish evil on nobody. I just don't like her ass. So, but I enjoy Wicked. I really do. I don't want to comment on people's bodies and things like that, but other people with eating disorders and stuff are watching these things, and I swear all I could do was stare at Ariana Grande's clavicle the whole movie. Like, it didn't seem wholesome. And I don't know what she's going through, but God bless the people that do have eating disorders and, are in recovery and are fans of Wicked and got to sit up here for 2 hours and watch her rib cage. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's none of my business. I don't, commenting on other people's bodies is not okay, but I can comment on the impact that what is seemingly happening with this cast has on people in the world when they watch it, and they may feel a type of way about their bodies. They may have eating disorders and shit like that. They may be recovering from eating disorders, and then to see their favorite stars up here seemingly looking malnourished a bit. And so, I didn't like that part either. It took me out of the movie a lot, because I'm really into lighting and color grading and shading and all this other stuff. And you can hide that there was something going on with the tone of her skin, the way that her skin laid across her bones. Like Cynthia Erivo, you couldn't tell because she was covered in green. I don't think she was as skinny in the movie as she is right now that she's, promoting the movie. So I couldn't tell with Cynthia Erivo, but Ariana, I don't know what's going on. You know, she was one of them Nickelodeon children, and she was around that fat man that was molesting babies and whatever the fuck he was doing to them kids. So I don't know. So I'm trying to make it like she's a bad person, or there's something wrong with her or whatever. It's just more so just having to watch it and then trying to ignore, like when whatchamacallit, Madame Morrible like grabbed her arm when she walked into the room and was trying to figure out how the house landed on Dorothy, and she grabbed her up, and I was just like, oh shit, don't, she's sensitive. I was just like, wait a minute, don't be so rough with her. She's sensitive. You see, she's sensitive and shit. Like, it kept taking me out of it. So I wasn't really excited to watch this movie. Like, reality kept taking me out of the movie, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a good movie. The story is the same as the play. I did have to go back and read some of the synopsis of the book, because I keep getting curious about what happened in the book compared to this. Everything in the book is literally like 5 or 6 years apart. Like, Elphaba literally leaves the school and goes with rebels for 5 years and lives in Oz and shit like that. And like Fiero over here, he done had 3 kids within them 5 years and got married, and then they run into each other and start fucking again. Elphaba gets pregnant, and now there's books about her granddaughter and shit that this nigga done wrote. But Elphaba has a son, and and like he's 5 or 6, 7 more years pass after she had the son, and now the son is helping her with the revolution and shit. And like it's an extended experience. And like Elphaba, we're still not sure if she's alive or dead in these books. She hunts them like Claudia hunts the Interview with the Vampire people throughout all the damn books. They will mention Claudia at least one time in each of these motherfucking books. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but yeah, she just hunts the books like she's the martyr for these motherfuckers, so that it gives them an excuse to be like, oh, you know, no one's as good as Claudia was, so I could eat you and shit. It's some bullshit. So, you know, but yeah, we commenting on people's bodies is not okay. It does not help if people have eating disorders to have their body commented on. It's just hard to stay in the movie when it's high definition and you can count each rib on this child's chest. And I just pray for her, whatever she's going through, whatever she's experienced in her life, wash it in the blood of Jesus and let her be free of whatever it is that's going on. I don't know. She could be just sick. She could be sick with something. I don't know. So whatever it is, that we can see her rib cage and clavicle and jawbone and forehead bone and shit like that. Whatever it is, cleanse her of it, Lord, because that's not healthy. That isn't. Like, I've never, like, I have a fast metabolism. Growing up, I was skinny. I wasn't that skinny. I was like a fast metabolism skinny, so it was still healthy looking, and I never wanted to be skinny. Like, I hated it. I was just like, I want to be thick. I want to be squishy. Like, I love where I'm at right now in my body, because it's like, it's squishy but it's toned. It's not too muscly, but it's like there's this tone to it, but it's still soft and squishy. And that's why you need the fat, because if you start to lose too much fat and then you lose it in your face, you start to look old. And I don't want to lose fat in my face, because that's when it starts to sag, and then you never, if you lose too much fat in your face, you never gain it back right. It never looks right. And so I want to stay a healthy body size with some healthy fat on me, so that I can be soft, squishy, and toned and look young. And so, I just, it was hard to stay in this movie, but let's get into it. So we start the movie off with Elphaba. She's the revolution. She's trying to save the animals. They using the animals to pull the like all this electric stuff. Y'all ain't got cars. Like, they got all this steampunk shit, and nobody they got a train. Why don't they all got cars? If you have a train, I mean, did trains come before cars? I don't know. I'm not looking it up, but you got a train, what the hop, skip, and a jump over to let's make a car, then we can hop, skip, and jump over to let's make a bulldozer or a pulley situation without having to use these animals. But whatever. We got this racist, whatever in this world coming from the United States of America. I don't know what he is. I think he's Indian, like from India or something. He looks like it. I don't know. What is the dude, the one that plays the wizard? What is his nationality? I always wondered that. But white adjacent. He's doing white adjacent things. And so, and then we got Glenda over here. She's Miss Popular. She's gonna play the game and try to be but while still missing Elphaba. It's like she misses Elphaba, but she's still like. And then we see a clip from like back in time when she was a kid and realizing that she never had magical powers. So when she complained to her mom basically said, well, the only thing that matters is if people love you. That's all that matters. So that's what she hung her disappointment of not having powers on is, okay, well, I'm going to replace that with having everybody love me. And then she got addicted to that shit. And so now she's very malleable and easy to manipulate by these manipulative motherfuckers. And they see that vulnerability in her of her being so needy to be. That's why Miss Marble doesn't like her, because, she's fake. Miss Marble's fake too, but like recognizes like, and Glenda's fake, but she's not like maliciously evil. She can just be manipulated into going forward with shit, even if she's against it and stuff. And so that still puts you in the evil category. It's like the Good Samaritan in the Bible. Like, how many motherfuckers passed this motherfucker on the road just because he was a different nationality and he was sitting up there laying on the ground damn near dead and shit, and he could have died, and the only one that helped him was the Good Samaritan. And so it's like that. Like, you're evil by association. So the more she associates with these people, the more the evil rubs off on her, and she just finds herself doing fuck. That's why, like, they're trying to do this thing where, like, so eventually, like, Elphaba comes to the wizard spot, and she's gonna save everybody and get the wizard to confess. She's very naive and shit. She believes these people can be changed, and no, they can't. And like, she comes to the wizard spot, right? And they try to both talk her into like, oh, well, if you join us, you could work it from the inside out and change things. And I just feel like that doesn't, because here it is, you work it from the inside out. How many people do you have to let die or let get hurt, or how many people have to be genocided until you work it through from the inside out? How many people do you need to sacrifice? How many souls need to be on your soul before you figure out how to make it right? Trojan horse shit don't fucking work when you rubbing elbows with the motherfuckers, honey. Like, Lil Nas X tried to do that shit. Look what happened. He running down the street, bucket naked, talking to himself and shit because of whatever the industry did to him after he tried to Trojan horse his way in. And then boom, I'm gay and I'm wild and I'm this and I'm that. And he couldn't handle the fact that niggas was talking shit and being horrible and stuff, which many people can't handle being bombarded with bullshit. And then he crashed the hell out. Trojan horse don't work when you rubbing elbows with these motherfuckers. The Trojan horse only worked because to get them through the door, and then they blew that shit up. Like, they didn't get through the door and then sit in the horse and then start rubbing elbows with these motherfuckers and acting like they were friendly with these motherfuckers just to stab in the back. You can't trick these niggas with this shit. You can't. Like, even in the book, it doesn't end with Glenda becoming Queen of Oz and shit like that. In the book, it ends with Elphaba's brother. Yes, she has a brother. He becomes King of Oz at some point. No, actually, the first book, it ends in political chaos and civil wars and shit like that. Everything's chaotic. They don't know who the king's gonna be, who the queen's gonna be. By the second book, Elphaba's brother is the king. And then by like the fourth book, Glinda is like shuttled off to some house outside the city and being constantly monitored while she's taking care of Elphaba's granddaughter, who got, glamored so that her skin wasn't green because her granddaughter came out with green skin. And in the book, nobody could read the Grimoire except for Elphaba's lineage. So Elphaba's granddaughter ends up with the book by the fourth book and shit like that. So you can't Trojan horse your way into these motherfuckers unless you about to tear the shit down as soon as you get up in there. Because once you start rubbing elbows with them, they're going to put you in positions where like you look culpable. So that's why Epstein files, he got all them pictures and emails and documents of all these famous people. That's why Diddy was filming these motherfuckers doing the dog shit that they was doing, because now we got something to make you culpable in this. It's like when you watch a gang movie and like the lead gang member kills somebody and they want you to be a part of killing the person too. And so they make you kill the person too. Then they look at you and be like, well, see, now you're a part of it. Now, they do that shit on purpose. So them talking her into joining them and you can change it from the end was some bullshit. They're going to brainwash you and bombard you the whole time that you're in there. And they're going to dazzle you just like they did in the song with bright lights and pretty sparkly things. So you think that it's all good and beautiful. See, that's why like you got to look at the evil behind the beauty. The devil was an angel, love. Like, just because something is beautiful and fun and they getting buying you shit and it's expensive and all this, that shit don't mean nothing if they not actually following up with their actions and showing that they're decent people and trying to change the world and stuff like that. You're not gonna get manipulative people, malicious people, evil people to change. People that don't want to change will not change, because just like they try to make good people that try to ease into the situation, just like they try to make good people that try to ease into the situation culpable so that they are stuck in the situation now, like that's what the evil person's mental does to them. Their mental is telling them, well, like if I atone for all this, then I have to admit to all this. And the guilt that I've been holding down and acting like it wasn't there, the shame, everybody looking at me like I'm crazy and shit like that, all that stuff that I was ignoring and pushing down by being evil, I have to face that. I'm not facing that. I was right. And so the only way you can reconcile with it when you're a fucked up person is you just tell yourself that you were right. I was right. I don't know what you're talking about. You go into a deep denial mode and you're just like, I'm right. I am correct in killing and genociding all these people. Just drooling all over myself. I'm sure some of them Democrats that are sitting up there staying silent about Gaza and shit and Palestine, like I'm sure they're trying to sit up there and play the long game too. How many Palestinians are gonna have to die for you to play the long game, honey? How many is there even gonna be a Palestine anymore by the time you figure out a way to make these people culpable? Can you even make these people? Because now you're culpable. Now you're a part of it and shit. Nigga, like the long game. Like they try to make it seem at the end with Glinda, she was able to, turn the whole thing around. That's a happy ending. The book doesn't have a happy fucking ending. That's a little glossed up happy ending because these white people want to make you believe that, yeah, you could sneak in just like Glinda. And as long as, you keep your mouth shut and wait for the right moment, then you can jump and get we gotta play their game and then we're going to pivot on them. No. Your brain can't handle constant manipulation without you coming out of that shit with severe mental health issues. Absolutely not. Like, I feel like it has to be like it is in the Bible. The Bible said it's going to be 144,000 people that end up going to heaven or wherever we supposed to be going and shit. Cause everybody's not gonna be able to come. Everybody's not going to be able to survive. Everybody can't come with you. Everybody's not going to be able to build the commune and come with you because they don't want to. They are easily manipulated by dazzling lights and pretty rocks and success and fame, and they're easily manipulated by these things that do not last forever. And they're not going to want to give that shit up. So everybody's not going to be able to come. I was with the animals in the beginning. I was just like, so why doesn't everybody that wants to leave and we can create our own shit somewhere else? She was so focused on saving Oz. Like, this is my home. These people treated you fucked to you. And it's this other narrative about like, oh, we have to save the obligation. It's like being obligated to like toxic family members and shit. The obligation because I came out of your vagina, even though you beated me every day since birth and treated me like shit. I am obligated to make sure that you're okay. That's being too attached to your abuser. Oz is your abuser. I'd let that motherfucker fall and build some shit somewhere else because I'm tired. And I'm gonna make sure the people and animals that are within the shit that I built somewhere else, they're fine. We're good. We don't need y'all. And I think that especially Black folks, we're too scared to do shit like that because we've been scared away from making our own shit, because every time we did in the early 1900s, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, these motherfucking white people would come and destroy it. They would destroy it. But the thing is that if you have enough money, you can amass enough power in the technology and the shit that you have to keep that shit, the motherfuckers out and be like a Wakanda, bitch. Like, that's why I love Wakanda. You got these people separated from the chaos of the world. The only fucked up part was you wasn't trying to invite other Black people in. You wasn't trying to invite other Black people that was going through shit in. I was with Killmonger. Like, why wouldn't you help the rest of the Black people in the world? Why are you sitting up here in this little area? Y'all get to have freedom, and the rest of the people in the world that's Black, you ain't trying to teach them how to do nothing or be nothing. So by the end of the first movie, he was like, so we made this little center for the children to, they can like learn about Wakanda and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, no, because why wouldn't you do that? See, that's when you start to become corrupted as a leadership, when you think you're better than the rest of everybody else. Killmonger fucked up because he thought he was better than the rest of the Wakandans. You can't put yourself above motherfuckers just because you're the leader. Leaders need to work with the people. They don't need to be above the people and make the people listen to them and you have to do what I say, because you need ideas from everybody. You need ideas to formulate the big idea that y'all all going to implement with each other. So it's like you break into this place and then you turn around and basically do what they're doing to the rest of the Black people in the world. Like you just became like them. So Glenda is like, basically she was like these people and then watched these animals get all fucked up and shit and didn't do nothing until the wizard, she found out the wizard was whatchamacallit's daddy. And I was just like, oh God. I can't sit around knowingly letting motherfuckers die and be maimed and murdered and not do nothing just for the sake of being a Trojan horse. Trojan horses don't sit and rub elbows with the evil motherfuckers and just wait. Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely the fuck not. Because there's guilt. There's gonna be shame. Because you still let motherfuckers die, honey. Like people that could have been, great in the world and shit. So anyways, Elphaba is flying around and like she goes to her sister's house, right? And her sister, she done snaps. This is what happens when you have some extreme trauma. So she has like medical trauma, disability trauma, and then being treated like she's different and stuff. But at the end of the day, like motherfuckers was being nice to her, but they were being nice in that weird ass like I feel sorry for you way. So she didn't like that either. So, but like you have this trauma, and because you feel like you're treated different and people are fucked up to you, you decide that you're going to be evil because you want to feel powerful, because you haven't felt powerful, because you have this disability that you think doesn't make you powerful. But if you have figured out your own lane, your own things that you like to do, your own but you tied your rope to box so tight you couldn't see that nigga did not like you. Then you tried to make this nigga like you by punishing everybody in the city, and this nigga just looking at you like, nigga, I don't want to be here. Like, what's wrong with you, girl? And then like you gonna try to make this bitch turn him into or make this nigga's heart love you instead of Glenda. It's not gonna happen. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, this nigga doesn't like you, love. Like he's never liked you. She's talking about, oh, when we danced at the school dance and he said I was beautiful, that means he loves me. No, your brain attached to words, and there were no actions behind the words except for that he was just kind of nice to you and shit, and you took that for love and you thought that that was enough. It's not. He has to genuinely want to be. He doesn't want you, girl. I don't know what to tell you. I don't. And then she gonna punish, like, she was doing some horrible shit to the munchkins in the book. Like, the girl has some shit going on and stuff. And so, you know, like, Elphaba tries to magic her shoes, and so in the play she gets up and walks, right? And in the book she gets up and walks, right? But in the movie they had her like float, because I guess she's not one of those, like, what is it called, where like you use your wheelchair sometimes, and then sometimes when your shit feel good enough you feel you can walk around. Ambulatory, there we go. Ambulatory disabled folks. So they, like, I be doing that sometimes because like my hips flare up and shit because I got the bursitis. So when it gets really, really bad, like I have this cane that I have that I use. I just use it in the house because it's like it only gets really bad after I get up from bed, after I've been, because the stiffness. That's what I learned. Like, you can't be laying around when you got shit going on with your body. Like, your muscles and your joints get stiff, and that's when it hurts the most. That's why I do yoga and shit, so like it can stay loosey goosey, bitch. But like, no, I use the cane when it flares up and shit, and I use it around the house and shit. I've yet to have to use it outside in the name of God. I mean, I don't think I would mind walking around with a cane outside. I just don't like having a lot of shit on me, and I don't want to be outside with a bag and my phone and a cane, and I don't want to do all that if I don't have to. So in the name of Jesus, don't ever let me have to take that cane outside this house. But no, it's like that. So they didn't do that. I don't think she's one of those types of folks. So she ends up floating in the air for a little bit, and then Bach comes in and he's like, I just want to leave. Like, can I just leave? Like, I saw Glenda in the newspaper and she getting married and da 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 and blah da da da. And I'm just like, so she like tries to make his heart turn towards her with the book, but like she can't barely read the book. She pronouncing the words wrong. His heart started to shrink. So, you know, Elphaba just was like, okay, well, let me turn you into something that will, you know, help. And so she turns him into the Tin Man and shit. And now like he has a vendetta against Elphaba because her sister said Elphaba did it. Like, no, bitch, you did that shit. You a little narcissist, whatever the fuck is going on. You need to get your shit together. And I hate how like people don't like the sister. That's understandable. People didn't like the sister when it was just the book popping off and shit. But it just kind of feels sometimes like a little too aggressive. Like, okay, like she a little narcissist. That's her character arc. Like, she a little narcissist. She fucked up. She evil. It is what it is. But like, people be like, I wish the sister would die. And I wish it. And I'm just like, she's a character in a. Are you talking about the sister or the actress? Like, what's going on? Because sometimes it feels like a little bit like they talking about the actress. And I just be like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? I hate this. I hate it. But no, so Alpha believes her sister's like, don't leave me. And I'm just like, bitch, you should have made some friends. Like if you weren't so mean to people and to the munchkins and stuff like that, you could have made you some friends, but you decided not to do that. You decided that you were worthless and that you had to control people so that they wouldn't see your worthlessness. And so that's what happened. Like, you're not worthless. You could have been somebody, but you decided to be a nobody, and that's not nobody's fault but your own. I can't, Elphaba's gone. So Elphaba leaves, and that's crazy because that's like the last time she sees her sister alive. And like, she goes to the wedding that Glenda and Fierro's about to have, right? Fierro don't even barely want to be. He's halfway out the door. Like, he don't want to be with Glenda. He wants to be with Elphaba. He hates that they talking shit about Elphaba. Da 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 da. Right. But he's just gonna go along with it because he's going along to get along, just like he thinks Glenda is doing, and he thinks that, oh, we're gonna get him from the inside out too and shit. I'm just like, oh my god, no. No, and I hate the ending now because it's like, now motherfuckers are really gonna think that, oh, we see, it worked for Glenda. Glenda is a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman, and she basically was doing the shit that they were doing until she felt guilty. She was going along and getting along until she felt guilty, and she just wanted them to not be mean to Elphaba. She didn't care about them animals like that. I don't care what you're talking about. She didn't care about them animals like that. She didn't care about them genociding them animals and making them not speak no more and locking them up in cages. He probably wanted a steak. He probably came to the world where the animals could talk and realized that there was no meat to be eaten. And he said, absolutely the fuck not. We're gonna cut up these cows and chickens and shit. Fuck this talking. And that's fucked up. Like, if the animals that I was eating was talking to me, I'm not gonna eat it. I'm not gonna eat it. It's talking to me. It's telling me to not eat it. Like, well, you could do that now. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm a carnivore. I don't know what the fuck. I don't. But I definitely, if they were talking to me, I wouldn't eat them. Nobody said I was a good 100% good person, but who is? So that's where they like try to like manipulate her into like joining them and being a part of what the wizard wants and da 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 da. And she almost falls for it, right? Because he frees the flying monkeys and all this other stuff. And the flying monkeys heard her in the forest singing with the animals, and she said that she gave them the wings and shit. And I think the leader of them, like, he likes his wings. He's like, I can get around. I mean, it hurt when it came out. Like, yeah, like, that was bones on your back rearranging themselves and new bones adding it to it. And then I had to work new muscles to learn how to fly and shit. But like, nah, nigga, these wings go. Like, she did us a favor. And so like, he frees the monkeys, right? So she thinks like, oh, this is actionable and shit. But then the monkey shows her like where he got a hole in the wall with a bunch of cages full of animals and shit. So she's like, oh, absolutely not. And then one of the animals in the cages is the goat, right? The professor. And so this nigga gonna come down the stairs behind her and be like, let me explain. I just need to explain. And she's like, absolutely not. So she lets all the animals free. And the animals break up and go into the wedding and all this other shit. And all this shit happens, right? So then, like, they got this little showdown or whatever. And I'm just like, nobody really catches her. Like, she just be there and she get into the building, all this stuff. And nobody sees her get into the building or nothing. It had this little showdown, and Fierro comes, and Fierro holds the wizard hostage and shit like that. And then here come Glenda talking about, oh, y'all like each other. I'm just like, you was looking at him odd in the first movie, Glenda. You didn't catch on. Like, you just wanted it to be not true. You just dissociated and was like, he don't like this green hoe. And now you got your feelings hurt. Like, Fierro never liked you and shit, nigga. He didn't want to be with you. He thought you were vapid and weird. She is. You don't be talking about shit. Like, I feel like this is kind of like a Christmas Carol. I saw this meme and it said basically like a Christmas Carol shows that billionaires basically need to be traumatized for them to be nice and care about the world. And I feel like that's what happened to Glenda. I don't think she was a Trojan horse. I think she was just a part of the whole thing all along and shit. She just felt bad because Elphaba was her friend, but she didn't, like I said, she didn't care about them animals and shit. And I just feel in my spirit that she needed to go through all this trauma so that she could end up leading Oz and actually caring about motherfuckers. She still got to be popular though. She still got to be popular though. That I just feel in my spirit that she just needed all this trauma so that when she became Queen of Oz, she wouldn't be a fucking asshole and shit like the rest of them. But you know, who knows? This is a different universe than from the book. Like I said, the book don't end like this. She don't become queen of shit. There's like a civil war and like riots and chaos and political chaos at the end of the book. Don't nobody know who is ruling who. But anyways, Fiyero goes to like Glenda's little treehouse, and I just feel not Glenda, Elphaba's little treehouse situation, and it's like cute and shit. And I just was like, I would live in some shit like this. I just feel like there needs to be a door that locks and like a little bit more insulation because I'm not waking up to bugs in the middle of the fucking night. But everything else, like I would vibe with that. I would live like that. That's amazing. Running water, we need that. And she changes into her little camisole, her little, like, they was talking on the internet, like, oh, she had the animal sold. You know she has magic, right? Like, she probably just made her clothes from magic. Maybe the little sweater camisole situation was like spider webs and shit. She had her little lingerie on, and then, you know, they had a little fuck. They fucked and shit. And while they fucking, so Glenda is mad because Fiyero went with Elphaba and shit. And so like Madame Morble and the wizard standing there wondering how are we gonna get Elphaba? How are we gonna get her to come out of hiding and right? So Glenda's just like, well, you know, her sister. Just, you know, spread a rumor that her sister's in danger. You know, so I feel like she's culpable for killing her sister. She is responsible for her. She is a part of the team that is responsible for killing her sister because you know this nigga is a genocider, right? So you know the lengths he will go to be, you know, on top, right? So why would you tell a nigga that already kills motherfuckers to go after this bitch sister? And yeah, this bitch sister evil, but you supposed to be her friend. You supposed to miss her. You're supposed to care about her. Fuck a nigga. It's girl code. No, absolutely not. So she tells them that, and then Maribel, whatever the fuck her name is, she's like, no, like, we need to do more than spread a rumor. So she comes up with the idea to send Dorothy to crash into her shit. And I'm just like, and apparently Dorothy comes back like years later in the book. And now I guess the political winds have blown towards the Wicked Witch and Nessa Rose were good people and Dorothy killed them. And so when Dorothy comes back, I don't remember how she comes back. They put her on trial. They want to hang her ass and shit. I don't think she gets hung. I think she ends up going back home or something happens so that she can go back home or something. I don't know. Maybe she get hung. I don't remember. But see, that's what they trying to show you. The winds of change, the political winds, all this shit is fickle and bullshit. And all of these cutesy things that they're trying to cover it up with, like the greens and the lights and the colors. And it's like when you go to Japan and you see all that cutesy shit around because they want to hide the fact that they got like issues when it comes to like repressing their people so much sexually that now it's like they got pedophilia stuff in the anime, and they had a vending machine where they were selling 14-year-old girls panties and shit, and that motherfucker, look it up, they did. They got they overwork, they are work society. They overwork they people so hard that these motherfuckers got a forest where they go and kill themselves, and everybody just knows it's a suicide forest. Or let's go way back to when they was trying to take over East Asia and the mountains of babies they were killing in China and South Korea and shit, nigga. Like, or all of Korea at that point, North and South. It's like that. It's like they try to cover it when you go there. It's like every town has a little cartoony mascot. It's really cutesy everywhere and shit like that. I feel like that is also, one, a part of their culture, but two, as a way to cover up the atrocities that they have committed and that they continue to commit in certain ways too. And, you know, it's like that. That's what Oz is. It's this cutesy place with some magical shit, and they be singing songs, and they got different color brick roads that lead to the Wizard of Oz and all this other shit. But then they got political unrest, and they're genociding all the talking animals and shit. And they're making up stories about people so that the people get hunted down and shit if they ever show their face in public. And so, right, like, that's why you can never bamboozle me with cute shit or kindness. Like, I only like truly kind people. And truly kind people will make themselves be known. People that aren't kind, but they put on the mask of kindness, they're like that pink bitch in Harry Potter that was making them kids write standards into their hands. She was always wore pink. She always had this big chipper smile as she made you carve standards into the back of your hand. That's how you know motherfuckers are evil, even when they have a smile, because at the end of the day, nobody can have one emotion all the time, love. Like, nobody can have one emotion all the time. And that doesn't mean that you're flowing between emotions, like you got bipolar 2 or something, and you like got hypomania, so you flowing between emotions and it's switching all. No, that's another extreme too. We're not talking extremes. We're just talking like people show different emotions as you're talking to them about stuff. Like, people show different emotions as they're experiencing different things. People show different emotions on a consistent basis. And so them overly happy people that only show that they're happy all the time, lies and trickery and bullshit. Absolutely not. So I can go to Japan and I can have a good time and I can walk around and think all this stuff is interesting that I'm seeing and learning about it. But in the back of my head, I always remember what it is. Like, no, because I have learned to not pedestalize motherfuckers or things or anything outside of me. I have learned that if you pedestalize it, it gives you anything you pedestalize, you have an immediate blind spot to it. So when they come out to be evil or fucked up, it's like you're shocked and surprised. And hopefully you're not in the pathway of their evil fucked upness and you don't have to experience it. You just can watch it from a distance and be like, damn, I knew I shouldn't have liked that R. Kelly and shit, nigga. I guess I don't believe I can fly. But for the folks that are in the vicinity of these people, like the motherfucking niggas that was getting sexually assaulted by Diddy multiple times and stuff like that, because men and women are the same emotionally in certain arenas, and men can be manipulated sexually, physically, mentally, just like women can. They were making excuses for it. They would just allow it, just like women do. We talk ourselves into it. And they ain't said shit for all this time, just like women didn't until they did. Because them niggas felt comfortable enough to voice the fact that they were sexually assaulted by this nigga, whether it was 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, just like women. Because we don't want it to be sexual assault just as much as the fucking abuser doesn't want it to be sexual assault. You know, at least not out loud. Some of these niggas, and I believe Diddy one of them niggas that get off on the fact that it's sexual assault. But they're not going to admit it out loud, and the victim doesn't want to admit it either because they don't want it to be what it is just as much as the other the abuser doesn't. And so you sitting up here and you looking at these coverings that cover what's really going on, and then you're pedestalizing motherfuckers, and it creates a blind spot. And now you got some bullshit in your life. Are you wake up and recognize that you were partaking in the bullshit that these motherfuckers were putting out? That's why in the last video I had to be like, damn, I still like the movie Him, but Marlon Wayne's over there caping like a motherfucker for P. Diddy. Like, why are you caping so hard, nigga? Like, was you doing some of that shit too? Were you a part of it? Was you assaulted too? Like, what's going on? Like, the good acting that I saw in Him comes from reality. Some shit is actually going on with this person. And so, I can enjoy the acting for what it is while making sure that I am realistic about who this motherfucker is portraying himself to be, right? Right. So, like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's what Oz is. Oz is just a facade, a pretty facade to cover up the fact that this is a lot of political unrest. That's what most of the books are about. Just political unrest, foolishness and fakery and bullshit. So anyways, after they have their fucking in her treehouse, she got the sight too, y'all. Like, she has this insight that of the house that Dorothy is in coming down and crushing her sister. And then Glinda gives her sister shoes to Dorothy. We never see Dorothy's face because Dorothy is an integral character to this, and I low-key wonder if this nigga could only mention Dorothy so often because maybe he don't own the rights. But it's so old. Like, but when he wrote the book, and when the play was made, was the statute of limitations on the story? Because apparently, if you put art into the world and stuff like that, and you like copyright it, the copyright lasts only so long, and then motherfuckers can just come along after 100 years and commandeer your character that you drew. Your original situation, like all of Shakespeare's writings, like anybody can just take that shit and make whatever they want. They can make a movie out of it. They can do whatever because you can't copyright infringe some shit from 500 years ago, 1,000, however long ago Shakespeare was doing shit. So, she goes and she like is sad about her sister. She like is trying to mourn her sister, and Glinda over there like talking about it's not your fault. And I was just like, didn't she say she needed silence to mourn her sister silently? Why are you talking? But it is what it is. It is what it is. And so like Glinda gets mad because like Elphaba is like, well, that nigga loved me, and then she slaps her in the fucking face. They slap each other in the face. They fighting and shit. And then here come the troops. They gonna arrest Elphaba and shit, but then here comes Fiyero like, no, and then he points the gun at Glinda, and Glinda realizes when she has a gun pointed in her face that this nigga's willing to shoot her. Oh, you do love her. Wow. Cause he would have shot that bitch if them troops he would have shot that hoe. He would have killed that bitch in her forehead. And I was just like, wow, he loves to fucking shout out this woman. That's amazing. It's glorious. Anyways, and I think it's funny because like in real life, the bit Cynthia Erivo's like a lesbian, and in real life, there's the nigga that plays Fiero's gay. And I'm just like, the gays just be, I believe in the chemistry. I was just like, wow, look at them dramatic. They playing these parts. I know that's right. And I was just like, wow. Maybe she's, people can be bi, and I don't think they clearly state. Maybe the dude did. Cynthia Erivo is just dating whatchamacallit, the director. What's her name? She directed them. Whoever her name is, she dating her, but I don't know if she like came out and said I'm a lesbian. So I'm gonna label completely, but I just think it's interesting. Just the drama within the community is so amazing. So anyways, like they fighting, he comes, and then like she flies off with the flying monkeys and shit, right? I just feel like the flying monkeys could have taken the guards. Like he didn't have to do all that. Fiyero didn't have to do. The flying monkeys were there. Monkeys are like 10 times stronger than grown ass men and shit. They could have taken these guards. I mean, the guards probably would have shot a few. Some of them would have died. Maybe they didn't want the monkeys because they're like people and they have feelings and they can talk and shit. Like the one monkey could talk at the end. You know what I mean? So, oh God. So anyway, I remember reading these books too. They were long. And then when I went and read the synopsis, I was like, oh, I didn't remember all this. Damn, like the book about her son, like the reason he ends up like having a baby is because like he fell out the sky on some mission and ends up in like a convent and they trying to take care of him and shit. And the bitch taking care of him basically like rapes him in his sleep. Because he was like in a coma or like drugged up because like his shit was fucked up from falling from the sky. And she like rapes him in his sleep and like he goes and lives with her. But then like she tells him that she's pregnant and that she's pregnant because she raped him in his sleep and he leaves her. And then like when he finally comes back, she done fled the house, done left the baby wrapped in fucking like blankets and shit. The baby, he wipes the baby off. The baby's green. It's like, oh, okay. So he leave the baby with Glenda and like glamours the baby so the baby don't look green and shit. But like, anyways, I'm getting mixed up. Anyways, so Elphaba goes and then they take Fiyero out to the fields and hang him up like a scarecrow, right? And like Elphaba goes to like this castle. I think it's to the castle that he was talking about. He said it was like his castle or whatever. So she goes to the old abandoned castle, right? And like she's just in a panic, impulsive, reading through the book, trying to make sure that he lives, and just read some random ass spell that turns him into a scarecrow because she doesn't want his bones to break. She don't want him to bleed. She don't want him to never die. I wish somebody would inflict that hell on me that I would never. There are other realms out there, okay? There are other worlds and shit that we go to when you gonna make me miss out on that. Like I always say, I don't want to be a vampire. Like I'm not living in this motherfucker forever. I'll walk out into the sun. I'll live for about 200 years. I'll get bored and then I'll be like, well, I guess it's about that time for me to mosey on down this and walk out into this motherfucking sun and just be at rest because I'm not being here forever. I'm not doing that. But she did it to him, and I'm just like, so they could never make the second book into a play, the book about her son, because I mean they could, but like they would have to make it so she just disappears, because like literally in the book they make it seem like she's dead and gone, even though there's some ambiguity and shit like that, and her spirit kind of lingers, her aura, her energy just kind of lingers throughout the book, and we're never really 100% sure. We're about damn near 85% sure that this bitch is dead in the books, right? So we can have all these other stories with her son and all this other stuff. So I just feel like they couldn't really make the second book into a play. But you know what? I looked him up and shit to see if he had written anything else. He wrote a whole epic about her granddaughter and shit. He's written like a retelling of Alice in Wonderland and Snow White and shit. I'm gonna look and see if they're any good. But like he been writing and shit still, so I'm gonna check it out. But anyways, like she's just impulsive and shit with this magic, and I'm just like, she don't even know. Like it's been a year since like she disappeared, right? And in the book, like I said, like it's 5 to 7 years in between all this shit that's been happening. It's years and years. Like she in her 40s and shit by the time this nigga stuff is happening and shit. So like it's been a year. I feel like in my spirit that she ain't researched that book well enough. In between like fighting for the animals and raiding and doing all this, I don't think she studied that book well enough. Why are you impulsively putting spells on people and shit? Why you not? Because I wanted him to live. And see, maybe because I've lost too many people, like the thought of losing you is not going to make me panic to the point where I impulsively put a spell on you to live forever. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take my time enough to calmly figure out what one of these spells might work. She got the sight. She see these niggas ain't killing him. Like, it's going to be horrible because they beating him, putting him on a stick, but like he was still alive when they put him on the stick. So we got time. We got at least an hour to find a spell that will keep him alive but keep him looking like a person. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Or like I feel like she should have. It's been a year. You researched enough. You know, whatever, nigga. You're like, what are you talking about? I'm talking about what I'm talking about. I said what I said. I'm doing the best I can with what I fucking got, nigga. So anyway, she turned this nigga Fiyero into a scarecrow, and somehow he joins up with Dorothy and the lion. And the lion, nigga, you mad? Okay, because he was a child. He was a child, and all he knew was that cage and the people that was handling him in the cage. And she freed him off into the wild. He didn't know nothing, and he was scared, and he had no adult lions around him to teach him how to hunt. It's like why they like have the animals in the animal preserves and shit. Most of them animals is like people that were like buying exotic pets and like all, so they never learned how to hunt, and they never learned how to like, you know, like all the animal shit that wild animals be doing. They never like big cats are not like house cats. House cats can go out there and get it from the dirt, nigga. Like if Poof ran, Lord, don't ever let Poof ran out this motherfucker and disappear from her home. This is her home. Name of Jesus. But if that ever happened, which is not going to happen in the name of Jesus, like she can get it from the dirt. They just go feral real quick. They just learn how to hunt and gather and join a little group of other cats, and they figure it the fuck out and shit. Big cats don't do that. Like they get eaten by the other big cats and shit. Them niggas start fighting them. It's like, oh bitch, you don't know how to hunt, okay? And then they can't join a pride because they don't smell like the pride, you know, all this other shit. So I could see why he would be traumatized by that and have extreme anxiety. He still pissed me the hell off, but like I just felt like she was just being so misunderstood by these things. Like they wasn't giving her a chance to explain. Like the lion, probably I can understand why he wouldn't give her a chance, but like, you know, like Bach seen the bitch run over to the book and start reading shit. He heard the other bitch talk about how, hey, stop it. What are you doing? Don't do that. But you still sitting up here gonna believe this bitch that had you locked away from this bitch actually had you locked away from the world. You couldn't travel nowhere. You couldn't do nothing. You only seen her read the book as your heart was shrinking and shit, nigga. But you want to kill Elphaba. You want to kill Elphaba. Okay. Okay, Bach. That's why you don't have a penis in. Shut up, bitch. So anyways, Dorothy comes to the wizard, and like he sent her and the lion and the tigers and the bears and the animals and the scarecrows off to find Elphaba. And like Fiyero is a scarecrow, so he's going with them and shit, right? So I guess he's like the op in the group. See, this is when you can be the Trojan horse, because him and Elphaba already had a plan to escape right after. He wasn't gonna stick with these motherfuckers for however long to wait and see if they can slip in the cracks and do the and then expose them all and shit. Like, girl. See, they want to pile up evidence and shit like that. It's like the shit you do at a job when like you're being harassed, but it's like borderline. So you have to like keep a log and shit, and then you pile up the evidence in your log, and then you take it to HR. So that means that you have to endure abuse for at least the next 6 months to pile up enough shit to take to HR. And I don't have, by the 3rd month, somebody gonna die, nigga. Like I don't have that energy for you. I don't have the energy to lie low and sneak attack motherfuckers and shit like that, because it doesn't ever work out. We are not on top from rubbing elbows with these white people. The rich black folks are on top, and then they forget everybody else. You know that it's not even 1% that owns the world. It's like 0.00000. Like it's a small amount of people. You can probably fit these people on like a couple blocks in a city that rule the world. And motherfuckers want to get in that door so bad, not realizing that it's not sustainable to rule the world in chaos. It's not sustainable. It's not. And so you're rubbing elbows with chaos, acting like you're not going to get the chaos on you. I don't have time to sit and rub elbows with chaos and act like I'm not going to get that shit on me, nigga. Like, no, I don't. I think it's cowardly. I think you're just trying to tell yourself that you're doing something when in reality you're just like Glenda. Deep down, you really do want all of this shit. And so you're going along to get along. Just be honest. You're going along to get along. You're not going to sneak attack these motherfuckers one day. You're going to go along to get along and shit. The only reason that Glenda was able to gather and get the throne was because Elphaba sacrificed herself. She had to throw her own self under the bus and tell Glenda not to be like, don't tell motherfuckers that I'm da 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 da, and I'm just like, oh God, because Glenda couldn't do it on her own. Because Glenda wasn't going to do it on her own. Even when she went to the castle, she was still trying to beg Elphaba to be like, no, you gotta come. I'll tell people. She couldn't do it on her own. She wouldn't do it on her own. She wouldn't do, like, you sitting up in there, gather the evidence, bitch. Like, no, because as long, it was just about Elphaba not being killed. Cause they got some kind of like little like romantical situation going on. It's like a platon. It's like an emotional. It's like an emotional romantical thing going on there. And so, but you didn't care about them animals. You didn't. You just cared about them animals after Elphaba left you to shit, and the wizard went off in shame because he's Elphaba's dad, and he didn't want you telling motherfuckers that was his daughter. And so the place needed somebody to run it, so you was running it. And like, he was like, out of the kindness of my heart, because you're not a genocider at heart by yourself. You was just following this nigga, but at heart, she just want to be popular and loved by everybody and everything. And as long as you love her and she's popular and you don't go against what she wants, then everything is fine. But, I wonder what would happen. I don't know, because she's not restrictive. She's not restrictive enough as a leader. She's not going to restrict you from living your life. And she is going to receive the praises that come from her allowing you to live your life and do what you want to do as an animal or as a human. And that's enough for her. So Glenda by herself isn't a evil dictator, malicious bitch. Glenda surrounded by evil motherfuckers is a weak-minded hoe that is easily manipulated and will go along to get along just to be popular and shit. And so like, I can't be around niggas like that, because you need to be grounded. You need to be 10 toes down, whether you surrounded by evil motherfuckers or you're not. Because all she needs is to find like a husband that is evil and gets in her ear and starts telling her what to do and what not to do and shit. Like she's still malleable. She just doesn't have motherfuckers around her to mold her. Like, the only reason she was able to stand up to Madame Marble is because like she's the leader now, and Madame Marble was trying to like, she's been fucked up to her the whole time and shit. So she was ready, she was primed and ready to stand up to Madame Marble. But let some motherfucker come in acting nice, acting regular. And like she ain't looking at all the other, she's not primed and prepped to look at like how this motherfucker treats themselves or anybody else or anything, so that she can notice the red flags and pattern recognition and shit like that. She ain't primed for that. All they need to do is play to her weakness of outside validation and popularity. Just play to it, and then once she's connected to you and in love, that's when you tear that bitch down. Like, that's what abusers do. Like, and she is primed and ready for another abuser to come into her life. You just need somebody that's manipulative enough and don't give a fuck enough. And so, no, I can't have motherfuckers like that around me, because basically you're a loose end. You're a loose end. You're going to narc on everything. You're going to be talked into like getting us all killed in a zombie apocalypse and shit, nigga. Like, you're going to like, absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely. The fuck not. Like, you're not about to get me killed because you let this motherfucker talk you into some bullshit because you're weak-minded. I don't need them motherfuckers around me. I need motherfuckers with their own mind. Motherfuckers that will even check me when I'm saying shit that don't make sense, so that I can rethink it and be like, maybe I'll think about it, that I could possibly not be right about this. I'll think about it, you know? So no, fuck Glenda. I don't give a fuck, nigga. That's a op. Like, she a op. She always gonna be a op. She just waiting for the right person to come into her life to bring her oppishness out. That's all it is. She's a pick me. She's a throw you under a bus bitch. Like, absolutely not. And so anyways, like, whatchamacallit, Elphaba's in the castle, right, doing her little spell, turning him into the scarecrow, and then Dorothy and them is headed to the castle, and then Glenda, like, she finds out Morrible has something to do with the Wicked Witch in the house and all this other shit. So she runs off on her horse to go to Elphaba's house. And because she's on a horse, this is what I'm assuming, because she's on a horse, when the monkey snatched Dorothy up off the ground, she could see the trajectory and follow the monkey to the castle, and that's how she knew where Elphaba was. Because I just don't understand how this bitch been hiding out in the forest for a year and could nobody find her, not even these monkeys. But like, as soon as she get into this castle, like, everybody know where this hoe is. And is it because the monkeys, because they can see the monkeys flying around the castle? Maybe that's it. It wasn't super duper far from the Wizard of Oz's little green spot, right? So anyway, she get up in there, and the bitch done locked Dorothy in the basement. I saw this TikTok they was talking about. This is Dorothy listening to Elphaba and Glenda's little sapphic romance song and shit while she in the fucking basement. Wanting to be released. And I was just like, that's fucked up. She's like, this bitch ain't here to help me. Why are they singing together? You're not here to help me, bitch. And so they start singing, and then like Elphaba's gonna throw water on herself and shit like that. And like, in the book, she melts, but like I said, there's like, it could have been a trap door. It could have. You don't know. We 85% sure this bitch is dead, but like, you just still don't know. And like, it's just like Monsters Inc. Like, I'm gonna need you to stop making these toys movies. I'm tired of these toy movies, because in all reality, at some point, these toys would have been in a landfill. I don't care what you're talking about. These are toys from the 90s, and you're giving them to little kids that have access to cell phones and tablets. And I'm not saying little kids don't play with toys like that. All I'm saying is that as many handoffs as these toys have had in these fucking movies, they should have ended up in a landfill at some point. So, what I'm saying is, as many handoffs as these toys have had in these fucking movies, they should have ended up in a landfill at some point. So, what I'm saying is, as many handoffs as these toys have had in these fucking movies, they should have ended up in a landfill at some point. So, when you gonna bring that baby back on Monsters Inc? Like, we've been waiting for that. You gave us the sequel to The Incredibles, okay? Was asking for that. You gave us that. And then now we got a fifth Toy Story. You gave us a Monsters Inc. like prequel. Nobody asked for that shit. And then you got like the Monsters Inc. show where where it's a new character and he's like a new hire and he got to learn how to how to tell a joke and shit. Nobody asked for that shit. The whole time motherfuckers is asking, when you gonna bring that baby back? So Sully and his friend can reconnect. And you sit up here playing these fucking reindeer games like you don't hear motherfuckers asking you questions and stuff. So it's just like Monsters Inc. Like, they could bring that little baby back. So this nigga could bring her back one day in one of these books if he wanted to. He was leaving it ambiguous for no fucking reason. So maybe he's trying to like see how everything falls out and shit, and that book will be like the sequel, the real sequel and shit. Cause he went off the left because he didn't know this was gonna get turned into a play. So he fleshed out a full saga of stories for these characters and shit. But like if he brought her back, would it be like, it would have to be like a sequel to the play, or would it be sequel to the books? Because like there's a lot of convoluted stuff going on in the books and that don't match to the play. So maybe he's just biding his time and shit. Who knows? So anyways, Linda is up there talking with Elphaba, talking about, oh, you know, you can figure this out and da 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 da, and they singing a song and shit, and then Elphaba's like, no, I'm gonna give up. And she has this bucket of water and shit, and I'm just like, when you allergic to something and you get it on your body, as a human being, like, she like mixed between human and Asian and shit, right? But as a human being, when you're allergic to something and you touch it, you don't melt. You break out in hives. You know, you may even go into anaphylactic shock, like touching some shit. But you don't melt. So, yeah. Very, very, very much so, like, she could still be alive in them books is all I'm saying. Because they're going off of like a little bit of realistic illness when it comes to these stories. This is not the original 1939, or wasn't the original one? I think the original one was like the early 1900s and some shit. But like, this ain't that. So like, you don't melt. But anyway, so they sing it and whatever, and then, you know, she tells Glinda to hide, and then she gets Dorothy out of the basement, and then Dorothy throw the water on her and she melts into the ground or whatever the fuck and shit. My thing is, like, when he came and the trap door opened and shit, nigga, like, the trap door opened up. So, or maybe it slid open. If it opened up, it needs to be opened up to get in to open. How did, she's a child. Children don't be paying attention to shit. Let me shut up. I don't know. So like, the baby thinks she done killed her and shit, and then Glinda takes the little glass, and Glinda thinks she's dead too, and so Glinda takes the little glass bottle that she's had since she was a baby, and she takes it to the wizard, and the wizard just be throwing them motherfuckers back. He got his little shots that he be throwing back and shit. Nigga, he got an addiction or some shit. I don't know what's wrong with him. And she takes it to him and says that Elphaba had it on her since she was the baby, and then he remembers that he used to fuck her mom, and they did this horrible AI of his face. It was gross, and his eyes kept moving around funnily, and his nose kept, his nose kept moving around funnily, and his mouth was moving around a little bit, and it was fucking weird. To make him look young or whatever the fuck. They didn't even have to show his face. They could have just left that shit alone, but whatever. But so he leaves because he knows that he ain't gonna come back from this bitch saying that he was that girl's daddy. He could probably come back from everything else, killing the animals and all this, but giving birth, being the father of a negress. Absolutely not. You're not coming back from that, love. So, she rules Oz, and like she's back in Munchkin Town, and like she's telling the animals they can step forward because whatever. And then we see Elphaba climb up out the bottom of the situation and stuff like that, and they walking off into the outside of Oz, the desert. And I'm just like, in the book, Oz is a city. There's cities around Oz, right? Like, it's not like a continent. Like, because they kept mentioning like, what city are you from, what city are you from, and there's cities. And then like the prince was from his own Kukumo, whatever his castle's called, his city, his spot. Like, he was from his own little place. Like, because they were just like, we don't know what's outside of Oz, it's desert and desolate. Even in the book, like, there were other, like, they even have a map in the book, in some of the books. So I don't know where they were getting this desert nothingness outside of Oz. I don't know. If you can enlighten me, if you recently watched the play or read one of these books or whatever the fuck. But like, they go off into the desert. She has this cute little like see-through camisole, whatever the fuck them things is called, on. I liked it. It was cute. And we realized that like that was the little like future premonition she was having when she was singing into to the animals, when she was telling them not to go into the tunnel and shit because they don't know what's outside of Oz, and this is our home and we have to be subservient to the whites, and because this is our home, we have to obligate. Fuck these motherfuckers. You know how fast I leave a bitch? Like, absolutely. The home is where the heart is, and my heart is with me, nigga. My heart is with God, nigga. Like, and they always with me, so I don't give a fuck. Girl, if I feel like my life is in danger, because I'm not a nomad, I'm very much a nester. Like, I don't like moving. I don't like packing shit. It's overstimulate. I don't know how motherfuckers can move to other countries unless I was a millionaire and I could literally afford to have motherfuckers come and pack all my shit up and move all my shit somewhere. You have to be at least like a 100,000-aire, like a high up 100,000-aire at the very least, to have somebody come and do that shit. And I don't have to do nothing but go on vacation for 2 weeks, and they do that, and I can trust them to do it right. I don't really like. I don't enjoy any of it. It's overstimulating. Like, literally, when I have to move, I literally have to dissociate and just zone in until it's done, until everything's done. And that is so fucking exhausting and overwhelming to do. I just don't want to get into a state like that. Like, I just try to avoid, because it's stressful to my nervous system, and you can get cancer from stress because stress causes inflammation in the body, and some of what cancer is like cells healing themselves over and over again until it turns into tumors and shit. And so if you have constant inflammation in your body, then that's your body's constantly trying to heal itself, and eventually one of them cells is going to turn into cancer or some shit. And you're not going to give me stress cancer. Absolutely. It runs in my family, hereditary, like, so there's even a higher chance of that happening. And so I try not to be stressed out. So it takes a minute for me to move, unless God wants to send me a rich husband that will just do all of that for me, or he just wants to send me like $500 million. I just don't feel like it. I'm tired. A bitch is tired. But no, like, they go off into the desert wasteland or whatever to live in whatever universe the play is in. I think Fiyero dies in the book. I know like I think he had like 3 or 4 kids, and at least 2 or 3 of them were killed. I know that much, but I think Fiyero like dies in the book too. I don't know. But no, this was my review of Wicked. Like I said, it was a good movie. Like, I'm not trying to body shame. It was just very, very much so distracting to have to like stay in the movie and in the fantasy and shit. But then every time Ariana Grande would move, like when that bitch yoked her up and shit, I was just like, let her go. Let her, oh my God. And then I started wondering, like, how many takes did that take? How many times did she have to be yoked up? Like, I wonder if she had bruises or some shit. Oh my God. Let her go, Jesus. I didn't like it. It was distracting and disturbing and stuff. So whatever's going on, whatever it is, whatever it could be, God bless and healing and peace upon her soul in the name of Jesus. But no, like, this is a good movie. You know, it's Wicked. Wicked's always going to be good. I don't care the story, the plot, even though they changed it insurmountably from the book, they still made something good here. And so, you know, like, it's Wicked. Like, it's a good movie. I just, you know, that nigga is beautiful though. Anthony, Joshua, Jonathan, whatever his name is. And I looked up his age. He's like 36. Like, that's close. But you know, it's just nice to know that I can still like be attracted to men and not be mostly numb around them or not feel anything, you know? And it's nice because it's like somebody that I will never meet. So I can just, you know, feel the way I feel. And it's okay to be attracted to fine ass, beautiful niggas. And God, he's so big. He's just so humongous. Just big and tall and Nigerian and shit, you know, like he probably got like a white girlfriend or some shit, you know, or a white boyfriend. I don't care. I'm never gonna meet this nigga, so I don't care what the fuck he likes to fuck, as long as it's consensual and they are consenting adults. I just like looking at beauty, and so this nigga is beautiful, and he beat that hillbilly's ass out in the name of Jesus. Praise him on high. And I was like, all of this could be faked. All of this could be like the white man was tired or whatever the fuck, and he was done with boxing and he just wanted to like go out on or whatever note. But no, you can't fake that his teeth were leaning. His teeth were leaning like this. his teeth were leaning like into his mouth like this. I was like, girl, I was watching like an Amanda Seales video, and she was like commenting on this nigga, and she was just like, why he look like that? And I was like, why does he look like that? Why he look like that? Oh my God, you know, I still got it. There's still a libido there. There's still, you know, a heartbeat. It's still alive in there somewhere, you know, like it's still there. In the name of Jesus. Woke up something that's been sleep. I don't have nobody to give it to. I'm just giving it to myself, but like still, I'm glad that to know that it's something still there. Oh God. We like started off with this nigga. We gonna end with this nigga. That nigga is beautiful. It's a big ass nigga. Probably like white people or niggas. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but you know, white people. I don't care about the niggas part. I'll be able to buy a nigga as long as you are monogamous and you do not cheat on me ever. In the name of Jesus. It don't matter if they bi or they straight. Niggas be cheating. And they be getting diseases and they don't be giving a fuck, and ain't nobody got time for that, nigga. But nah, this girl, gonna have a picture of him just right here next to me the whole time I'm talking about this nigga, like oh God, I love it. Something that it came back to life. It was awakened, the animal. The animal was awakened, and I like it. I'm gonna marinate in this for a little bit. You know, he could turn out to be an evil motherfucker, a serial killer, all the things that human beings are capable of being, the worst and the best of. But you know, for this moment, I'm gonna savor this. Haven't felt this shit in a long time. I'm gonna enjoy this. You know. No pedestalizing, no overly attached. Just I enjoy beauty, and that beauty has awoken something in me that hasn't been woken in a while. So I'm just gonna sit in that and marinate in that. That nigga is humongous. He could probably pick me up a la Ving Rhames and Baby Boy with no hesitation, no struggle. Oh God, let me get the fuck off here. Oh, nigga is humongous. Huh. This type of nigga, like I don't even do casual sex, but like I would, just to have a memory, just just to be able to say like, yeah, you know, I'm old and gray. You know that one time. You know, like when I'm 85, just sitting. Hey, if you ever see me at 85, just sitting, looking like this. No, that's the type of memory that'll just, you know, that'll just sink into your soul. And something that you can just take sips from for the rest of your entire life. I would do it. I would. I would do it without hesitation. I don't know what you... And then I would just walk away from it and just be like, thank you for your services and this enlightening experience. I don't know, like, do you want me to make you breakfast? I don't cook well, but breakfast food is, you know, I could do that, or I could just go. Like, I'm just gonna go. You look like you have a regimen anyways of what you eat. Like, I was just gonna make a bunch of bacon and eggs. I would just go. Like, I would have had my experience. I would have sipped and tasted from that memory for the rest of my life. And that would be enough. Like that would literally be enough. I wouldn't need anything. It's just an experience. But you know, that's okay. Motherfuckers will be like, she's crazy. I know, I am. That is a humongous ass nigga. Why are we talking about Wicked? We did talk about Wicked. Turn the fucking video off then, nigga. Like, shit. I am marinating in this feeling that I have not felt in a long time. It's nice. It's nice to marinate. A good steak. You just marinate that bitch overnight or whatever the fuck, however long you're supposed to marinate steaks. See, I don't cook. I don't dry aged. This ain't dry though. Let me get off of here. So, I hope you enjoyed my review of Wicked Part 2, Wicked for Good, or whatever the fuck this shit is called. And, you know, like, share, and subscribe, and all the magical things. And, you know, let me know what you thought. And, you know, next week I'm gonna do Gen V. I'm gonna spend all week because I still have to catch up, because I only watched like a couple episodes into the second season of The Boys, and then I got bored. So I have to finish The Boys because The Boys tie into Gen V. And they released Gen V after the second season of The Boys, so I'm sure there's shit from the second season that I haven't seen that tie into Gen V. And so I need to finish that first, and then watch Gen V. And then I want to review it. And then after that, I'm going to do Genie. I was talking about this movie I watched on Peacock like last week and shit. It's called Genie, and it's the cutest. It's got that bitch from whatchamacallit, the Black Little Mermaid and shit with Halle Bailey. She played Ursula. You got her. She's like a genie, and she is in service to this black family. and it's so amazing. It is. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, and this man is so sweet and kind, and like he's trying to get his wife back because he's been like passive, and he like let his boss walk all over him, and he won't stand up for himself to the point where he missed his daughter's birthday and other important moments and shit like that. Life got tired of moving with her mama, and like he has this genie, and all his wishes are for other people, the people he cares about and shit like that. He doesn't wish for anything for himself. And like part of it is the people pleasing, but like it's still like that's a part of who he is. He's just a nice fucking person. And like, what is it? This genie comes and she just loves it so much. She just loves showing up and being and helping this man figure his shit out and all this other stuff. She's a magical white woman, and yeah, like he figures it out though. But it's just a cute. I think I cried because he just was the nicest person. His wife is dark skinned, little baby dark skin. It's so beautiful. And I just cried. I was just, because he was so nice. He was just one of the nicest people in the world. And I just cried. And so, like, I want to review that at some point because, like, I just loved it. It was magical. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you thought. Like, share, subscribe. Later days.